Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again with the endgame video on the int stacking Molten Strike HoWA champion. And the too long didn't watch version is champion's pretty good. Who'd have known? So essentially, did end up doing all of the endgame and hit level 94. Nothing too fast because the mapping on the character with Molten Strike and my DPS level isn't that crazy, but it is reliable and pretty smooth overall. Hit 94 and did a full round of endgame content, so like, you know, several four-way invitation things with all the Guardians, plenty of Guardian kills, Cirrus, Maven, Feared, Wave 30 Simulacrum, all of that shit completely deathless. So it's basically a hardcore viable character, just like any champion should be, I suppose. So yeah, managed to basically from level 70 onwards, once I've put on full resists and actual gear and all that, just not die throughout the entire endgame, which I think has not happened thus far. Since all of the new stuff has come out, I don't think there's been a single character where I haven't at least died once to something like the Feared or some shit. But champion's just that thick. Having something like 90% damage reduction at all times with like 80-85% chance to evade, and then spell suppress cap and perma fortify and good recovery and all that, it seems pretty just OP. And maybe that's what people need. That's what people are saying, you know. That's what they need because they don't have Mathel skills to dodge or some shit. Maybe, but it is a bit overtuned because you can get characters with way better attack than mine with the same amount of defense. And then it just becomes a bit silly because you're not really playing the game too much anymore. You are just face rolling. And, I mean, yeah, it's okay. Like, I think champion doesn't really need that much of a overwork or tune or anything like that. If you want to build into these defenses and have these level of defenses, I think it should be somewhat accessible. And the way that the defense rework worked out is pretty good. Like, it makes investing in defenses highly worthwhile, and you do it if you want to. Whereas before, essentially, you could invest in defense, but it took a lot of points or a lot of effort, and you didn't get that much out of it, so you had to go all out investing in defense, and then you just couldn't really make much room for offense. And that always felt bad. So this is a much, much better system than we had before, I think. And, I mean, yeah, it's fun to be able to build tanky and just take on the game pretty smoothly. So the character with Molten Strike ended up being okay. Like, I think it's depending on how much the balls overlap, but anywhere from like 3 to 10 million DPS, some shit like that. I did try out the slower projectile nodes at the bottom of the Ranger area, and it gives you more reliable overlaps, but some bosses just have good hitboxes and all that, and it doesn't really make much of a difference on. So I didn't end up speccing them full time because it's an extra like 3 points that I just couldn't feel like using at the moment. And the int stacking thing didn't really work out. I mean, it worked out and I got a good amount of life, EHP, and my DPS is okay. But in current PoE, I think it is going to be more worthwhile to do something different. Maybe deck stack like I did on my Deadeye Spectral Throw. Otherwise, a Trinity version. Otherwise, if Omniscience Amulet doesn't get nerfed, then that's definitely the way to go. I've seen some examples of champions that have like 5 times my DPS comfortably, and even more thickness than mine as well. So champion with Omni basically can be a recipe for some really disgusting builds, and we'll just see if that gets tuned down next patch or not at all. But it was pretty fun doing a whole round of endgame on the character and limit testing a bunch of thickness, so just similar to the previous one, but in a different sort of thickness, and just seeing what I can get away with. This is the 30th wave of the Simulacrum, and they definitely start to get a bit clench. It really depends based off of my DPS basically, off of the mods on the wave, if they're even thicker. So if they've got like monster life and crit reduced or lightning res, that sort of shit, then it takes longer to kill stuff, and it means you do have to run around a lot more and survive a bit more. But it's interesting that it can just kind of take on and tank Kosis and Omniphobia at the same time, because a lot of the time had to do both together, and well doable. It was actually pretty interesting for me personally, having a character that could take on Simulacrum for the first time, where you can just get hit by almost everything and still survive, and almost no map mods really mattered. I mean, some were obviously worse than others, but for the most part it didn't matter too much, given the level of thick. The ones that were the worst were like extra chaos with chaos pen, or like a huge double, elemental roll, and then some penetration on that as well. You could definitely feel that, and it meant you could come pretty close to dying. But a Deathless Wave 30 and Deathless Feared that's to come after this, which wasn't amazing, but still deathless. You can enjoy the video in a sec. It still went pretty well. So overall, character was a wild success, even as a hipster int stack, life stack thing. And yeah, it's just DPS isn't amazing here in the end, so it takes me like a minute or two to kill each of these types of thick bosses in the higher waves. But that's about it. Hope you guys enjoy the feed. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. I like it. That is perfectly acceptable. Somehow randomly managed to hit all kinds of shit I can do. Let's go. Oh, this is honestly just too annoying to roll. I can't be fucked doing that now. If this goes well enough, maybe I'll end up doing another round of Endgame eventually on this character. And then yeah, you could try it. Good shaper plus fucking this cunt. Pretty obnoxious, honestly. But at least I get to take him out early. Oh no. So many fucking shapers, dude. Come on, man, let me in there. I want to play the game too. Did I just get in there quick enough, or did I dodge it or some shit? Because you can't dodge it, right?
I had to just be on time. Tanked it? I don't think I'm thick enough. Actually, yeah, maybe I am. Previous guy could tank it with less armor and no fortify, so I don't know. Maybe. Smooth AF.
How long will I be kept waiting?
Probably could have done it with gauntlet mods, to be honest. It was just that easy. And, like, overkill. Even if I could have, you know, which obviously I probably wouldn't have. I mean, it's not fair. This is nowhere near a solid self-found character.